Hey guys, Hijinx here, and we'll be coming back here with another Versus video. We'll be looking at two very notable characters. We'll be comparing Sly Cooper and Jack from Jak and Daxter. We'll be looking at their stats, their arsenal, and a few other things that kind of help determine who's better between the two. So my question for you guys is this: who's better, Sly Cooper or Jak? So the first thing we're going to look at is the stats. Now, right now I have some Sly Cooper stats for you guys, and we're going to be looking at the time span within their trilogy. So Sly's date of birth is 1984. We don't have the exact day here, but the age of him would be about 21, and his height's about 5'4", and he weighs about 128 pounds. Some of the pros to Sly Cooper specifically is he's very agile, he's got strong reflexes, and he's got a lot of speed behind him. However, here's some things that are going to be kind of like things that hold him back. Here are the cons. He's got a less health and he's got a small defense overall. He's not someone that really goes into combat as much as he likes the stealth aspects of things, so you'll get a lot of stealth from him, but not a lot of fight. So with Sly's stats out of the way, let's move on to Jak. So Jak we don't have an exact date of birth on, but we do know he's 18 years old within the time span of his trilogy. His height is at 5'9", and he weighs 175 pounds. Here are some pros to him. He's got a lot of firepower. He's got a very big arsenal. He's got very reliable weapons, and they're very strong weapons. He's got a larger health bar, and he's got a stronger defense. He's a lot more involved in combat. But some of the cons are this: he's quick to anger, and he's got a little bit of a danger-seeking mentality, which means you're not going to get a lot of stealth out of him because he's really, really involved in combat, and he really, really gets involved in the moment. So he's not going to be focusing too much on stealth or holding back. He's really, really into that, using his strength, and so that's what we're getting out of Jak here. And now we've gotten the stats out of the way, let's move on to the arsenals. Right now we have Sly Cooper's arsenal. We have a health bar and gadget meter, which is just going to tell us how long he's got, how many hits can he take, and how long till he can use his gadgets. And looking at his weapons, we have a cane. It's more for attacking and swinging, but he can also use it for mobility. Its length's about 3 feet 8 inches. He has the blue aura, which kind of allows him to kind of maneuver a little bit around. It kind of helps him interact with things, and it's really good for stealth. We have your binocular, which is used for more of like reconnaissance and communication. It'll display some information about where his enemy is. He can use it to kind of figure out where people are, and usually used to maneuver around. Some abilities that we have kind of come in as the dive ability. It's kind of like a dive somersault where he slams down upon the opponent. Best used when sneaking upon him because he can get the leverage and then land on top. We have rolling, which allows him to electrify opponents while in a ball stage. He has slow down time, which is ability, as it states, is to slow down time to make sure that people won't be kind of slow around him. He can still outmaneuver them. He has a mine, which he can kind of toss his hat and detonate it at any point. It'll blow it up. The fast ability will speed up time. He has a decoy where he can throw a cardboard cutout of himself to confuse guards to kind of help with the stealth aspect a little bit more. He has coin magnetism where he can attract money, which I don't see being too helpful in this fight situation. He has invisibility where he can kind of get around. He can throw items while invisible as well, however there's a time limit on it. He has things like disguise, deception, and charm, which allows him to kind of hide in plain sight. We have the ninja spire jump, which allows him to balance on any small object, so even on the smallest points. We have a stealth slide, which is the stage that it can kind of be used during his blue aura, and he can kind of go through high speeds without being detected. We have an alarm clock, which is where he throws the alarm clock to distract opponents. A paraglider, which allows him to safely get to the ground. Silent obliteration, which is a one-hit knockup when sneaking behind an enemy. And a knockout dive, which is where he dives an enemy and knocks him out. We have combat dodge, which allows him to dodge any attack for the most part when timed correctly. We have rocket boots to help with a little bit more of a stealth slide. It's but louder. We have insanity strike, which is when he hits a guard, and that guard then goes and provokes other guards into combat. We have voltage attack, which he can use with his cane. It's going to be electrified, and he can hit the guard, and normally they will die instantly. Rage Bomb, which essentially does the same thing as Insanity Attack, where from a distance he can throw this item, and it will make the guard provoke other guards. We have Music Box, which allows him to put the guard to sleep. We have a Smoke Bomb, where he can use it to hide his presence a bit. We have the Light Spin, which is more what he does with the Electrified Cane. He's able to spin around and use that for some extra damage. We have his ability to Rail Walk and Rail Slide. And that will conclude that up for us, guys. So as you can see from his arsenal, we get a lot of stealth-based maneuvers, stealth-based attacks, stealth-based weapons, or even things that aren't made to cause damage, but as much as to provoke them to look away. So that's what we're looking at with Sly's arsenal here, and I think that's going to play a big part. So we'll be looking at their ability to complete an objective and their abilities in a fight. And just looking at this right here, guys, as you can see, he's very objective focused, but not so much combat focused. So with everything done with Sly's arsenal, let's move on to Jack's arsenal. Now in Jack's arsenal, we have a health bar, a dark meter, and a light meter. This essentially is going to tell us how many times he can be hit, how long he can be in each of his modes. He has two other modes besides his standard mode, which are the light and dark. And that's what that's going to give us. So now we have the weapons. Now these weapons are going to be based completely off of the games, and we did look at the how much each weapon could hold. So you'll be looking at accurate max capacity. So right now we have the red mode with a max capacity of 150 shots. The scatter shotgun, which is in the red mode weapons, has 1 ammo used per shot. It's a heavy firepower and a short range blast. We have a wave concussor, which uses 1 to 5 ammo based on your charge. It's a chargeable shot that fires a circular blast, and it damages people in a radius, and the radius will increase depending on charge time. We have the plasmite RPG, which is 10 ammo per shot, but it's highly explosive. When it hits an area, it's going to cause a lot of destruction. And that will conclude our red mode section. Now we have our yellow mode, which brings us to having a max capacity of 300 for that specifically. We have the blaster with 1 ammo per shot. This one's a good rate of fire, so he's going to be able to fire off a lot of consecutive shots. However, the sad part of that is that there's going to be a burnout. He could run out of ammo quite quickly if he were to fire them off. We have the beam reflexor, which is 1 ammo per shot plus 1 for each kill by a ricochet. Now this one will keep ricocheting until it hits an open area. So if we were in a room with 4 walls, it would be bouncing between it and never stop. So for instance, if he were to trap Sly in a room and he were to shoot this out and they were in a room with 4 walls, it would just bounce around and keep hitting Sly, and that could have concluded the fight. However, it will cost him 1 ammo for every time it were to kill Sly, or for every time it would make contact in this event, as most people have more health than a standard minion. We have the Gyro Burster, which is 50 ammo per shot. It releases a hovering disc that continuously releases powerful blast at lightning speed, and it can last for a few seconds. And this will move us on to blue mode with a max capacity of 300 as well. We have the Vulcan Fury, which is 1 ammo per second. It's a laser guided medium range rapid fire machine gun. Essentially, the longer he holds it, the more ammo will get used. Again, this is something that can burn out quickly. In 300 seconds, he'd have no ammo. We have the Arc Wielder, which is 1 ammo per shot, and it emits a thick, continuous stream of electricity that shoots whatever it gets in its path. We have the Needle Laser, which is 1.5 ammo per every 3-second volley. It releases a rapid fire, a small heat-seeking bolt that travels to short ranges. So this will find you. So this is something that you fire out, and it's going to chase you down, much like the Needler in Halo, for those of you who are more familiar with Halo. Now we have Dark Mode, which has a max capacity of 20. Peacemaker is 1 ammo per shot, and it charges and releases an electrical sphere that will seek out an enemy, and it arcs to other enemies that are nearby. We have the Mass Inverter, which is 1 ammo per shot, and this releases a dark wave, and within its range it'll kind of float and paralyze. We have the Supernova, which is 8 ammo. It shoots out a missile that causes a small nuclear explosion. It wipes out everything within a large radius. And now we have our forms. So there's Dark Mode, and now we're going to be moving on to our first form, which is Dark Jack. Dark Jack has a move called Dark Blast. He jumps in the air and spins rapidly, shooting arc energy that damages any enemy within range. He has Dark Bomb, which he leaps into the air and he can slam his fist to the ground and creates a large shock wave. You have Dark Stripe, which is where he shoots a large blast at a target, and it can also break through obstacles. And then there's Dark Giant, where he grows 3 times his normal size. He can run faster, jump higher, farther, and does more damage to enemy. Blast, Bomb, and Strike can be used in this form, and it's a lot stronger. And he's invincibility, where he's temporarily invincible while in Dark Jack mode. He has Dark Invisibility, which means he gains the ability to be temporarily invisible, but can only be kind of navigated after touching a statue. Then we have Light Jack, which has Flash Freeze, slows down time, Light Flight, which is the ability to fly. Well, sort of fly. Kind of, he flies, but as he does every flap of his wings, he gets a little bit less altitude, so it's kind of like a stepping down. Light Regeneration, which he regenerates HP until complete or until the light meter is depleted. Light Shield, which generates a shield that protects and damages enemies that attack him. And that's what we have going on for Jack's arsenal. So as you can see from Jack's arsenal, there is some stealth when we get into Dark Jack. However, for the most part, we're looking at combat ready. He's ready to take down opponents. Yes, he can do the objective, but if anyone stands in the way, he's ready to take them down. So we're looking at a more combat-focused arsenal here. And I think that's the pinnacle difference between these two people. And I think that's going to really show when we get towards the end of this and we start actually full-on getting into separating things between them. So guys, at this point, we're going to analyze the battle between these two. Now, we have 3 scenarios set up that would really analyze both the kits and how these guys would interact with each other. Now, the first battle we were thinking of was a head-to-head. Now, this one was a little bit of a clear victor. We didn't even run anything on it. Jack would have been a clear winner just by looking at the arsenal. Jack has more attack power, and with Sly being more stealth-based, when they're face-to-face, there's no stealth elements involved in that first battle. However, we did come up with a second battle, which was an arena battle. And this one is a little bit different. So it's a city battle is how we're thinking of it, because we wanted to kind of think of what would be a plane that would both exist in. And in Jack 2, there's a city that he was in, and Sly is city based. So we figured this would be a level playing ground for the two of them. And here's how we think it would start out. So to give you a play-by-play, we think both these people will be on opposite sides. This way, there's some space between them. The combat can set up. And Sly, clearly being stealth-based, would start off by slipping into some form of dark alley to kind of avoid conflict. Jack would probably use his light meter and try to get a vantage point, so by going to the highest point, probably the tallest building, to be able to see clearly. As Jack's a more attack-based, he wants to find the enemy to attack him, and Sly's going to try to avoid them. And to really get this in, he's going to use his gyro blaster, and this would use up some of his yellow meter. It's going to bounce around. It's definitely going to hit Sly at this point, who's hiding and waiting for the perfect moment. We figure that after this, Sly will probably go invisible and hide around another corner. As I said, the stealth element is what Sly's trying to use to take the edge here. And then, with that in mind, Jack is stuck on the building. He's going to have to use his dark meter now, and that's going to be the ability to use invincibility and jump down to the ground without taking any injury. Now here's the thing. He's going to fire the wave concussor, and it's going to use up some ammo, but it's going to hit the area around him. And Jack's going to win this city battle. And here's why it seems like, it's very weighted towards Jack in this battle. Sly is not 100% conflict built. He's built for smooth, stealth, objective-based missions. We are looking at 2 combat situations right now, and most certainly as we go into the stealth element, you'll see that there's a little bit more activity with Sly. And then that brings us to our third objective, which is our objective battle, where both people are going to try to get to an objective, grab the objective, and come back at faster. So now looking at their arsenals for this objective battle, Sly is going to be using a lot of his stealth mechanics to get there. Now this is the thing that we tried using in the fight, but we couldn't see it being applicable. Sly has stealth takedowns, which are instant takedowns, and he has the music box, which is going to distract the guards. However, he does have a glider. So for this objective, it's a very, very straightforward objective, and Sly is going to sneak his way through. He's not going to fight the guards. He's going to use his music box. He's going to use his gliders. He's going to stick to the shadows. He's going to use his invisibility, and he's going to get that objective in less than probably 15 minutes. Now we have Jack on the other hand, and here's where that combat ready kit is going to really weigh down on him. He's going to come in, and being as he's well armed, he's going to come in guns blazing. He's going to start a fight. Now by taking down the first guard, all the other guards will be alert. Now, I'm not saying that Jack wouldn't get the objective. It's not that he wouldn't get the objective. He most certainly would. However, in the thing where it's a time span, Sly's going to get the objective quicker, faster, and cleaner than Jack is. Jack's going to leave a big mess. Jack's going to take a while to do the combat, and by the time he gets there, it's just going to be, too much time has been spent trying to get there. So I believe Sly would be getting this objective down and back in less than 15 minutes, where Jack, maybe in the 15-minute mark, could do it, would still be in combat for most of it. So with this in mind, Sly wins the objective battle. And now we come to our conclusion, guys, and this one is a little bit of a harder breakdown than the ones we've had prior. We look at the arsenals, and they're about equal. We look at the physiology, they're about equal. We look at the fight, and Jack clearly won. We look at the objectives, and Sly clearly won. However, even though this was very neck and neck, what I do have to say is, although Sly is a lot better at grabbing the objective, landslides better, and Jack is landslides better in combat, Jack would have to win this particular battle. And here's why. Because even though Jack couldn't get the objective as fast, he could still get the objective. So he could still get to the objective, not as quick, but he could also win the fight as well very quickly. Where Sly could get the objective very, very fast. However, adversely, he couldn't get the win. So even in this category he was weaker in, he wasn't able to win. Where Jack, even in his weakest category, was still able to succeed. Not as well, but he did succeed to a degree. So with this in mind, Jack would have to be the one that wins. And that concludes the video here, guys. I hope you guys enjoyed this, and let me know what one you liked more. Did you like the Doomsday one more? Did you like our Michael Myers and Jason Voorhees one? What one did you like the editing of more, and what did you like the layout of? Let me know down below if you agree. Do you think Jack should win or Sly? Would you like us to retouch the topic or not? And give us any suggestions down below. We'll be looking at them, and I hope you guys enjoyed the video. See you at the next one. Peace.